Hi guys, it's been a while, so I decided to do a deck profile. This is my Yosenju deck profile. I've had this deck for about a year now, and it's really fun, really good for casual games with friends, and you can get some really good wins, some cheesy wins, and it's just a fun, it's actually a fun controlled deck. Though the variant I play, it's not so many floodgates, it's more impactful blowout cards, but I'll go through my deck and some options that you might want to run, because you can play this deck in a lot of different ways, as in it's good going first, and you can side in some really powerful cards going second. So I'm actually not sure which I prefer, going first or second in this deck, but this is a going first build, and at the end I'll show you some options for other cards you can run. So to start, it's 3 Camel 1. Now for all of these, they have the gimmick where if you normal summon them, you get to do an additional normal summon of a Yosenju monster immediately after. So essentially you can flood the board by doing multiple normal summons. Camel 1 though can normal summon a Yosenju apart from itself. That's the stipulation. And once while this card is face up on the field, you can target a face up card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. So it's once while it's face up on the field. Now these also act kind of like spirit monsters. In the end phase, their effects activate and they return to hand. So the whole point of it is that you maintain your resources. So you maintain these guys, and then again you kind of always have a play, because these always return back to your hands. It does mean that you have an open field often, which can be scary, but it's just makes for a fun kind of gimmick for the archetype. So Yosenju 1, probably the best one, best removal. So just bounce anything. It does target, but you can't ask for too much from these. So I played triple of Camel 1. I only played 2 Camel 2. His effect, again, once he's normal summoned, you can normal summon a Yosenju other than itself. His effect is you can halve his attack to attack directly. So he can do 900. That is not the best effect, but it comes up relevant with the searcher of the deck, which is Camel 3. So Camel 3 again has the same stipulation. When it's normal, you can normal another. And if a Yosenju monster you control inflicts battle damage, you get to search a Yosenju card, which is really good. Also, it occurs in the damage step, so it can't be ashed. So those are the Yosenjus 1, 2, and 3. These ones are the ones that can normal summon immediately after. I only play three other Yosenjus, which is 2 of Yosenju Izna. His effect is if you control another Yosenju, you can draw 1 card. This one's slightly different in that if you normal him, you don't get to do another normal summon, so it's always your last one. The drawing's good because you get to keep plussing, but also you can discard him and your opponent can't respond to your normal summons this turn. So it might sound surprising, but often you can wipe your opponent's board and then you have a clean run to spam. But obviously if your first Yosenju gets hit with an imperm, it kind of stops your plays, your swarm. So discarding this so they can't respond is really good. So I run two of Isna and 1 other just for utility. I actually never said his name, Tsujik. Again, he's the last normal summon because he can't normal summon another. You can target a Yosenju monster you control and it gains 1,000 attack. You can also discard him. You can discard him in the damage step for a Yosenju to gain 1,000 attack. So that's quite good. Helps you guys helps you get over some problematic monsters, because their attack is not the highest, as you can see. You've got 1600, 1800, 15, 8 and 1. But that's it for the Yosenjus. So the whole idea is to keep them in your hand and keep the resources flowing. But because you leave an open field, there's advantages and disadvantages. One of the advantages is you can play triple Nibiru and it will always be live. So, well, as in if they're doing one of the summons, but you'll never clear your board because your guys will return to hand. And then you can simply normal camel 1, normal any other, and then bounce the token. The effect of camel 1, I forgot to mention it. You can only do it if you control another Yosenju monster. So you always want to kind of open at least 2 Yosenjus. But I think working with the different ratios, I think this is the correct amount to play. So triple Nibiru, really impactful. Helps kind of level the playing field because you are playing a rogue deck. But definitely recommend main decking triple Nibiru. Another card which is always live is triple Gamma and the 1 driver. So again, you always have a empty field. So if you can resolve Gamma, you know, negating Ash and things like that, it's really good. So I definitely recommend that. That's it for the monster lineup. Next, the spells. I only play 10 spells, but they're all really impactful. So triple Fire Formation Tenki. So this searches any Yosenju monster that you have, and it stays on the field and increases their attack by 100, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you have an open board, it's really important to take the win when you can. So attacking directly, there's all sorts of plays, but triple Tenki is a must. I play triple Extravagance as well. The extra deck's not too important in this, but draw power is, so definitely running triple Extravagance. Doesn't really conflict. The only thing it would conflict with is the Isna. Not being able to draw one off of that, but that's a minor inconvenience. Next, it's triple Duality. Because all of yours are normal summons, you actually don't special. So digging for the exact card you need is really, really good. So I would definitely run triple pot of Duality. Doesn't conflict with Extravagance, so if you're opening multiple spells, it's really good. And the one of Dimensional Fissure, because this deck doesn't use its grave at all. You can run things like Dimensional Fissure as a kind of floodgate. I don't run many floodgates, but that's a really good one as a one of. That's it for the spells. So just the 10, and the next are the traps. So to try and even the playing field, you have real blowout traps. So I run 2 Ice Dragons Prison, good for removing any non-targeting removal. Also takes one out of the grave, so a really strong card. I only have 2. You could maybe play 3. Next, double Crackdown. Again, really good, stealing your opponent's monster. It's just a all-round good card. I think one of the better options to play. Then triple Torrential Tribute. Because you're leaving your field empty, this is probably the best trap. Just completely blows it up, and then you can swarm with a lot of normal summons and maintain your resources as you expend theirs. So yeah, this deck is good at punishing your opponent for overcommitting. So triple Torrential Tribute. Next I play triple Solemn Strike. So the monster negate and getting rid of their board, I think strikes the best way to do it. You do have to be a bit cautious in this deck because you have no because often you're not putting up a board of monsters. Any payment of life points can be costly, so that's why I don't run judgment, because halving my life points just makes it too easy for my opponent to OTK. Next, the one of is 1 Macrocosmos for the same reason as the Dimensional Fissure. So I run 1 that, and the last trap is Yosenju Sword Sting. This trap's really good and searchable off of Kama 3. So if you control no monsters, you can reveal up to 2 Yosenjus in your hand, target that many face-up cards, and return them to the hand. So it's really good searchable. I only run 1 because it would be a brick, but yeah, really good to search. So you can kind of standard plays. It's like normaling 1, normaling 3, bouncing theirs, attacking, doing battle damage, searching this, these return to the hand, and then you can bounce 2. So it is a really good trap. That's the trap lineup, and that's the entire deck. Now, if you win game 1, they will always make you go second, but this deck can go second really well. So I actually, like I said earlier, I don't know which I prefer. So for the side deck is really important. So I run triple Dimensional Shifter, as you don't use your grave. Basically, you want any card that's going to make them put up a kind of underwhelming board that you can really deal with. So Dimensional Shifter is really good at that. So just because some decks just have to pass on it, as it sends any card that would go to the grave to the Banished Zone instead. So I side deck triple Dimensional Shifter, also triple Gamma-Seal. Gamma-Seal is really good to Kaijus in general because Camel 1 bounces back to the hand. So you can, as a play, is you could normal 1, normal 2. If you've got a second 1 in your hand, normal 1 again. Because it's once while it's face up on the field, it's not a hard once per turn. So you could Kaiju your opponent, bounce it back to the hand, Kaiju them again, bounce it back to the hand again, and do a place like that while maintaining it. So triple Gamma-Seal is really, really good. Next in the side deck is triple Mystic Mine. Now, Mystic Mine is really good in this deck because sometimes it's just I don't know, if people put up Dragoon and you can only deal with it with things like the Ice Dragon's Prison and things like that. It's good to bait out the negs, because if they negate your normal summon and things like that, it is a good hit. But dropping Mystic Mine on them can be so oppressive, especially because Kama 2 can attack directly. And it's all searchable, all really searchable. So you can literally just be normaling 2, normal 3, attack for 900. But of course, if you've got Tenki on the board, that's where it really adds up. And then get your search off. You can constantly be normaling and drawing off Isna, or normal and search off Kama 3 and search the Suchik. So you'll be attacking with 1900 instead, directly every turn. So Mystic Mine is a really good side deck. So as I say, we're just trying to run explosive cards, really game changing ones. So Mystic Mine 3. Next for spell removal, because this deck does suffer against other control decks. So Harpy's Feather Duster, destroying all spells and traps, and 2 Heavy Storm Duster for spell removal. And the final 3 of his triple Evenly Matched. Again, just a blowout card, but also good against back row. So that would be the side deck. There are lots of others that you could choose different ways to run the deck. You can play, I don't actually play it, but you can play Trap Trick to access any of these normal spells. It all depends on the meta. Dynamiscus to banish. Dimensional Barriers, really strong against certain decks, so that's good for siding. You could side different dimension and ground to banish all monsters sent to the graveyard this turn. Get Out, that used to be good against Salamangreat. Just target 2 extra deck monsters, return them. Warning Point, it's really good. Stops your opponent using those monsters for fusion, synchro exes, or links. Imperm as a hand trap. I was running this, but opted for Nibiru. And you can also play under Rivalry and Gozen Match. You just have to be careful with your Nibiru tokens for these. On top of that, you can also run things like Necro Valley, anything that stops the graveyard, and any good trap like this. And I've done it out of order, but I'll just go over the extra deck now. It's not too important, it's all subjective, so you can choose what you want, but I would definitely run triple Lightning Chidori. This is probably the best XZ. It's actually one of my favourites as well. When it's normal summoned, you return a set card to the bottom of your opponent's deck, and you can detach 1 to target a face-up card on the field and place it on top of your opponent's deck. So once you've kind of expended your opponent's resources, done a big blowout with Nibiru or Torrential Tribute, you can keep putting the same card back on top of their deck, so they're not gaining any resources. It's 2 win monsters. I think you should definitely run this. I run it at 3. I run all of these at 3 or all those I can because of extravagance. So I run triple Tornado Dragon for spell and trap removal. I also run triple Exiton Knight. If you don't know what he does, you can detach once per chain during your main phase or your opponent's battle phase, and if your opponent has more cards in their hand and field than you do, you can destroy all other cards on your field, on the field. So again, just a blowout XE, but you can really run whatever rank 4s you want. I choose to run triple Cowboy, so it's pretty old school, but it comes up so often where you've just swarmed the field and you're just shy of game. So just making Cowboy. I dueled against my friend, I think he was playing Drytron, and like I said, I either Nibiru'd or Torrential Tributed, summoned 4 Yosenju, and then double Cowboyed for game. So it is really good. I play 2 Dweller, and the final one is 1 Omega, because if it's so good activating Extravagance, your opponent ashing, then you Gamma, and you get the driver out of your deck, you draw 2, and then synchro up for an Omega. That's just so I never want the Gammas to be dead. Also, it puts the driver in your grave, so your next Gamma's live as well. But that's the deck profile. So again, you can play it in a lot of different ways. You can play with more floodgates, play it going second, but I would definitely recommend trying Yosenju out. And yeah, they're just a fun alternative. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.